Why do we have to turn down? Here you can.
Are we good?
I'm watching the bar progress on YouTube.
Okay, so still hasn't gotten there yet.
Hasn't gotten there yet. All right, we are go for lunch.
Good evening and welcome to the Thursday, September 4th, 2025 meeting of the Henrietta Town Board. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Page,
Here.
Councilmember Blanca,
Here.
Councilmember Barley,
Here.
Councilmember Stafford,
Here.
Supervisor Schultz.
Here. We'll begin the meeting with the silent prayer followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I get a motion to approve the minutes.
Mr. Supervisor and fellow board members, I move that we approve the minutes of the August 13th, 2025 town board meeting.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Blanca, Councilmember Barley,
He said aye.
oh, I'm sorry, I must have been too close. Councilmember Stafford,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye. What's it?
No.
Well, hold on, so we have no public hearings today, so we will go straight to resolutions.
Mr. Supervisor and fellow board members, I have resolution 15-294, 2025 to approve and or ratify the following agreements. Second.
Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Blanca,
Aye.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Mr. Supervisor and fellow board members, I have resolution number 15-295, 2025, to authorize bills payable and any associated contracts or agreements for August 21, 2025 through today, September 4, 2025.
Seconded.
So I will note that these payments included the town's portion of the September health insurance, which is $115,000, paving and striping projects of $46,000, and the purchase of a senior center van of $60,847, of which all but $847 of that will be covered by a DASNY SAM grant that I believe was obtained by Senator Cooney. Thank you to Senator Cooney's office for helping us acquire a new senior van. Any other comments, questions?
Yes, thank you, Senator.
And hearing and seeing nothing further, please call the roll.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Blanca,
Aye.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye. And just as a note, half of our names are cutting out. So it's Bar and Staff.
Oh, really? I can hear myself on the echo, and I'm getting a weird thing on my end too.
Yeah. All right, Joe.
Mr. Supervisor and fellow board members, I have resolution number 15-296, 2025 to authorize the town supervisor to sign an agreement with Disc Golf Rochester Club regarding upkeep support for the Lookup Park Disc Golf Course.
Second. Oh, I scrolled right past it. Yeah, so again, this is for Lookup Park. When I was first doing it, I thought it was for Riverton, but
Right.
and they are basically looking to improve the tee boxes, so. Any questions, comments?
And I just want to make sure that, that it's still open to the public.
Correct.
These guys don't have any,
Nope,
okay.
they were just doing this on behalf of their members.
Okay.
And just disc golfers in general,
Right, that's what I wanted to make sure. It wasn't just for members.
correct.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Belanca,
Aye.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye. Fellow board members, I have resolution 15-297, 2025 to authorize a supervisor to sign a utility work agreement for lighting equipment with New York State
Department of Transportation.
Department of Transportation.
On
When,
West Henrietta Road? Is it West
Did
Henrietta?
yours go out too?
yeah, it's
West
just,
Henry Road Improvement Project.
yeah, it's just periodically for whatever reason, the app crashes for the,
I second that.
sorry,
Where's this new computer?
I know. Yeah, as a matter of fact, as part of the discussion here, how are we doing on the new computers for the town board members? Could you come up to the microphone?
Andrew Stewart, Director of IT for the town of Henrietta. So we are close to deploying the new laptops. We actually were ready to do that today, but given that we haven't, we didn't want to make all these changes right before a board meeting. So we're gonna wait until the next board, before or after this board meeting to hand these out.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
Beautiful.
Yeah, like I said, the app just periodically shuts down, and of course, it always seems to be right as you're reading a resolution.
Right when you're on the spot.
So yeah, so as Rob noted, this was for the West Henrietta Road Improvement Project.
Second that.
Yeah, so again, basically they're moving some of the infrastructure because we took over the streetlights. Whereas this used to be for RG&E, they would make this deal, and they are working with RG&E for the movement of the utility poles, but because our lights are on the poles, we also have to approve the adjustment. Any other further questions or comments?
Yes, sir.
Hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Belanca,
Aye.
Member Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz and fellow board members, I have resolution 15-298, 2025 to authorize the supervisor to sign a utility work agreement for the sanitary manholes with the New York State Department of Transportation for the West Henrietta Road Improvement Project.
Second.
So again, same project. In this case, it's our four sanitary manholes that are within the right of way. And typically they have to adjust the height if the either there's been settling of the sewer, or that if the pavement level is going up or down. So any other questions, comments? Hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Belanca,
Aye.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Mr. Supervisor, I'm assigning this next resolution. I was going to propose on tabling it until I just received the update. doesn't look. I was gonna table it, so if somebody else wants to present it, or I can.
I will put it forth. Fellow board members, I have resolution 15-299, 2025 to request proposals for the operation of the restaurant within the new Riverton Oaks Municipal Golf Course Clubhouse.
Second.
So I know, Mike, that you said you wanted to table it. I will note that, in terms of if you have time that you want to make a decision as to whether we do this part or not, in the documents, it clearly states we don't have to accept anything. So,
I didn't even, because it was sent, I think, at 2:40 or something. I didn't, before I got here today.
No, I understand. But you know, like I said, unfortunately, they took longer to put together than I'd hoped. The thing I will say is, if we delay this, you're pushing it back 3 weeks, and now you're potentially creating issues for us getting, you know, typically you want to have the building framed in before the snow flies. And so there's a ways to go.
Right.
There's other approvals still necessary. But, you know, one of the things is we've talked about at the workshop, we don't want to move forward with plans and start to go out to bid and any of that stuff without knowing who our operator is, because different restaurant operators might have different needs for the kitchen. So we can't finalize plans until we have the operator. So all this is doing is selecting an operator. And, you know, for the potential project, we did make a change that basically now says we're planning on building a clubhouse, not that we are building one. And so that, the idea is we select that operator, and that way we can lock in the plans, go out and get the quotes as to how much it's going to potentially cost to build, and make a go, no go decision as to whether to build. The problem is tabling this till the next meeting pushes the entire schedule back 3 weeks.
I didn't even know we were planning on getting it up and running that quickly, you know, because we haven't had it.
We have had discussions with it, and we've always talked about that it was going to be during this off season with the goal of being completed next May. It's even in the newsletter. May's early. It probably won't be done in May, but as close to May as possible. So you're still welcome to.
I made the motion. I made make a motion to table it.
Does anyone wish to second the motion to table?
No, but I do have a question, something that concerned me in reference to how we're gonna judge the restaurateurs that bid on the restaurant. The point system doesn't seem fair to me, that we're gonna give someone more credit because they may have given us some information about something going on with being a restaurant. I can understand that in Henrietta, but I would like to see that we get the best bid possible when it comes down to that, instead of a point system that gives someone 5 more points than someone else. That's my feeling.
And so the issue with that, though, is, you know, we invited we reached out to a number of the major Henrietta-based restaurant/bar operators, and invited them to provide input. Only one was willing to do that. They've put in a lot of hours. So it does seem a little bit unfair that they put in the time to help us and don't get anything for that.
To me, it doesn't seem unfair. I could be I could be that restaurant person that didn't even see the offer
Right.
to do any of that. And now I see the bid process. I go in and my bid may be better than this other person's.
Right.
And we take them because of a point system. It's not fair.
Well, just to be clear, the way that point system works, if yours is more than, at the most they can get from that is 5%. So if your bid is more than 5% more, then it's you, not them. So that's the difference we're assigning it.
Well, to me, that still doesn't seem fair, because in the same circumstance, if I'm bidding on a home and my bid is better than another person without any contingencies.
Well, there's right there, without any contingencies. So you are putting other conditions on that, right? It's not always necessarily the highest bid. In fact, when we were recently bidding on a home, our bid was higher. They were going to reject our bid unless we also put in no contingency. So the point is, there are other conditions on those things besides just dollar amount.
Well, I understand that, but what I'm saying, if you had a person that never saw an invitation to help out with this whole thing, and now they see that the bid process is open, they come in, they're behind it before they even did anything. So that doesn't seem fair to me. It could be a new restaurateur in our area.
I
You
I
understand what I'm
understand
saying?
it, but I also don't believe it's fair to someone who's put in a lot of effort to help us move this project forward, that they don't get any credit for that.
Well, we're gonna
So
agree
it-
to disagree.
Right, and so then if you wish to make a motion that we change that percentage, you can do so. You can either make a motion to eliminate it, which I will say I'll be personally against. I don't know where the others feel. If you want to adjust it downward, we can do that as well. But I do feel there should be something for the effort that they put in to help us put this together. I understand your point. So
I would like to put a motion up that we get rid of that whole 5% more or any percentage more for anybody to come in, because another restaurant that's here could come in and want to bid and they're already behind the eight ball. That's the way I feel about
I understand how you feel.
Okay.
Does anyone second that motion?
I'd like to know how the other board members feel. I do have a question on that.
Well, then it,
Can I just ask this question? So the way you said it, if I understood correctly, if let's say somebody says $5,000 a month for rent. If somebody else came in at $5,250, those two bids would be considered equal. If the one was from, if the $5,000 bid was from the person.
assuming, I haven't done the math, but assuming that's the
That
correct,
is
yeah,
5,000.
that sounds right.
That would be
Yeah, that's 5%.
5%.
Yep,
Okay,
yep, those two would be equivalent
okay. I just wanted, okay.
from a bid standpoint.
Like I said, I just haven't had,
Crushed again.
I didn't have a lot of
No, I understand.
time to look this over at all today.
We had talked about that.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Again, right. And specifically that method, and so,
I knew we talked about the point system. I wasn't
right, yep,
fully understood how
gotcha.
the percentage would work.
What do you guys think?
I missed the point where I didn't see where there was a 5% award for somebody who helped us plan.
It's not an award, basically,
Well,
when
I
you do
mean,
best value,
category.
yeah, there is a category, yeah, so, and right now, so they are, it's, if I remember all the numbers correctly, it is 5% for being an independent operator, so as opposed to a chain, it's 10% for being a Henrietta-based business.
I read
It's,
that.
and this is up to, by the way.
Yep.
Up to 10%, for experience in the business, existing experience in the business, and then 5% for assisting us with the project. So we can adjust any of those numbers if we think some of those should be higher and lower. So again, what happens is I start with my base, and I basically, so it's, you take the upfront portion that Mr. Stafford had requested be in there. And those funds would be used to do the build out for stuff that becomes part of the building. So that's
I understand that.
finishings of that, plus the first 3 years worth of rent. You add that all up, that's my base value. Then I shift that number up or down based off of those criterias to a maximum percentage of those particular things. None of those really have a negative score, so I don't see that any of them would go down, but that's just how we've always done it. And so I only see them that they would essentially, in this case, increase the score. And so if the total of the first 3 years rent, and just to make the math easy, and upfront comes to $100,000, then if I'm a Henrietta-based operator, my bid would count as 110,000 instead of 100,000 for comparison purposes only. If any of the other categories apply, then those numbers. So again, if we want to adjust those numbers, we can, but that's essentially how we've always done best value is when there is a cost involved, we start with the cost and we adjust the cost for comparison. If it's something when we're buying it, we adjust the cost down. If it's something where they're buying from us, we adjust the cost up.
So what I was saying is, I remember reading about the percentages that could be used to award the contract. But then when I read the resolution, that part wasn't in there.
It's not in the resolution, it's in the contract.
Okay.
But so, I didn't, but the point is, we can, if we want to modify the contract before it goes out, we can. If people feel we need to adjust those percentages, then let's adjust those percentages. I don't agree with, I understand where you're coming from. I just don't agree that it should go to 0. I wouldn't have a problem if it went down, but to me, there should be something for that effort. And I get it. You can also argue, is it fair that there are people who aren't already in Henrietta are starting behind the 8 ball? People who don't already operate a restaurant are starting behind the 8 ball.
True.
But again, I think some of those things are important.
Mhm.
And, we often ask for lack of a better way to put it, unpaid help from contractors, developers, Rochester businesses. It just seems to me right to have that weigh in some, but again, I'm 1/5 of the board, so it's a board decision.
The other,
And similarly, I'll just also add, if you think there should be another category, we can also add another category as well. Go ahead. What were you gonna say, Rick?
coming up, having someone in Henrietta or locally, or a person who runs a bar and is basically bar food, but not really a major big time restaurant, coming up with $100,000 in order to bid.
Oh, I was just using that number to make the math easy.
Okay, because I was thinking if we presented a 6,000 square foot clubhouse with everything we needed for golf and the basic amenities that someone needed for a kitchen. And then when you go out to bid, the idea was that if you won the bid and you wanted a bigger stove or a dishwasher of a higher quality, or if there's, like you're building a house, it could be the basic house model. And then if you want to have hardwood floors and if you want to have a bigger center count, then that to me should be the cost that person who won the bid it might be a good way to think about it.
So we have talked about that, and again, if you read in that document, it does list, and we talked about this the other day, that there is a bunch of equipment we already have. Some of it we have from the current clubhouse, some of it we have from the county, some of it we have, I forgot where the third source. So we have a lot of the equipment already. But to your point, if there needs to be additional stuff and upgrades, yes, that gets into when you get into negotiating the lease, you absolutely put that in there.
Right.
So the upfront cost question, and again, if someone that was put in there because multiple times when we've discussed this, Councilmember Stafford wanted them to have skin in the game. They didn't want it to come in and just have lease and they have no real investment in it and then walk away at the first sign of issue, right? So that was the idea of having something in there for upfront. The other way we could do it, if we don't want that to be part of the score, for lack of a better way to put it, for fear that somebody could come in with a big dollar amount and just drown somebody else out, you could basically have it that we can set a minimum, say you have to do this, and then do what you said is that, anything above the basic build out, they would be responsible for.
I think that would allow more people to apply.
Well, anyone can apply, we just don't
Knowing
know.
that they had to put down, okay,
Because the point is, they get to say, right now, the thing does not have any minimums in it.
Right.
because no one could come up with the minimum. And as I was thinking about it, again, if we find that it's too low, right? So let's say that only one business responds and they say $2,000 a month, right? That's too low. And so we would either reject it or we'd either reject it immediately, or we would, if they were the winning bid, we would negotiate with them to get the dollar amount up. And if we can't, then we would reject it. In there, it says multiple times, we have the right to reject any bid that we do not believe is in the best interest of the town. If the project is non-viable, there's a whole bunch of reasons why we can to reject the whole thing.
Now, you're referring to the document. Have we seen the
But
document?
you do have it in your email. Unfortunately, like I said, I've been trying to get it. It's very different than any other bid we've ever done.
Okay.
So it required me to do a lot more work. And in addition, at the workshop, you guys asked me to do a bunch of research, and I did do that and get that incorporated into it.
Okay.
One of the other things, if you guys do want to table this, again, I'd have a problem tabling it for 3 weeks. If we wanted to call a special meeting next week, perhaps, and just table it to then, I'd be okay with that.
Well, did you hear anything?
Yeah, I first of all wanted to say that of the categories that we've talked about so far, those being Henrietta based, those being experiencing the industry, individual operators, and professional assistants, I value all of those. And I would hesitate to want to move the professional assistants, I guess for lack of a better term, calling it that, down to 0. I also would be concerned that if we were to table this for 3 weeks, about the timely nature of when this is going to get completed. I don't feel like any of us, after workshop at least, and certainly I don't feel comfortable right now thinking about a dollar number per se, like an upfront cost, a skin in the game number. But from what I'm looking at in terms of the categories we've talked about, I think all 4 of them are significant. I'm open to argumentation on the percentages, but I don't think that professional assistant or whatever we call it should be set at 0 for this.
Thank you. Yeah, and so one of the other things, just so people understand the numbers we're talking about, in talking to a couple of the developers who, you have a couple different types, kind of 3 different types of restaurant leases. You have the land lease, where they basically just create an out parcel. That parcel gets leased to whomever, and that restaurant operator, this is generally what the chains do.
Mhm.
They then come in and build the whole restaurant, and they're responsible for all those costs, and they're just paying a land lease.
Because they have a market model.
Right. The second one, this is kind of in the middle, is I've got a building, it's an empty shell. They come in, they do all the internal build out, they put in the kitchen equipment. But they're paying a building lease now, not the land lease. And the third one is, I've got either an existing restaurant, with all that equipment in there, or it's like this often happens in plazas, inside the building, the landlord does the build out. And again, they did say it's quite often along the lines that you said, Rick, where they basically build for lack of a better way to call it, a basic restaurant.
Yep.
And then any customization improvements are on the cost of the operator.
That might be the best skin in the game model for us, don't you think? I don't know. I'm just
Mhm.
throwing it out there.
So the only question being then, if they come in and say, well, we're gonna just take the base model, then do they have skin in the game? And that's the issue that Mike was looking at, and so I will say in that third category where it is built out, the rents are, ranges I heard was from, what was it? I sent it in the email. I think it was 18 to 20 per square foot. That's the per year per square foot. For us, it came to between us with the clubhouse is 6,000 square feet, but the restaurant portion is 4,000. So it came out to about between 6,000 and 6,600 a month. Is the range based off of what the market currently does.
And that's with us paying utilities, right?
Yes, so well, I'm not positive on that. They did say that was triple net, but one of the things I will say is like, we don't have typically in that triple net, you're paying for the things like the property taxes, your share of the property taxes, which there aren't any. You're paying for common area maintenance, which there's going to be minimum at most. There might be plowing because we already mow all the area. There's the bathrooms.
Yeah, they're gonna open all your locks, so it'll be
Right.
plowed for sure.
Yeah. No, I didn't mean whether there might be plowing. I'm just saying as far as whether we take that on or they take that on, or that's to be determined. And some of that comes into the lease. And then the other thing is typically in that triple net, then we as landlords will have to take out additional insurance because it's a restaurant operation, right? Obviously, restaurants are more likely to burn to the ground than clubhouses. There's potentially, lawsuits. What happens when the restaurant gets sued? Of course, they're going to sue the landlords because we have deeper pockets. So we have to take out additional insurance. That's typically what's also covered in triple net. So what I don't know for certain is utilities, when they talk triple net, whether that includes utilities. Linda might be able to answer that question.
I think that, based on our discussion here, as you've alluded to, Steve, that maybe we should table this and meet earlier during the week before this, 3 weeks, to kind of iron out and understand a little bit more. That might be helpful. So I would ask that we table it and have a meeting at some point.
Well,
In the near
before we
future.
put the motion, let me
Yep.
just see if we can pick a date.
Yeah,
Based on our discussion, yeah, it needs to be done right away.
So it looks like there's a historic site committee on Monday, but it looks like Tuesday and Wednesday are both available. I prefer to do it near the end of the workday so that our clerks don't have to stay
what
extra.
day are you saying again, Steve?
Tuesday,
So
Wednesday.
Tuesday or Wednesday, so the
9th
9th or 10th.
Either works. In the
Same.
evening for me.
9 or 10 in the morning?
No, 9th or 10th.
the date.
I'm looking at like 4:30.
4:30.
Okay, I have a CHS board meeting at 6, so I should be okay, right?
Yeah,
4:30?
I would hope we don't go
4:30
down.
for the 10th, which one?
Becky, do you have a preference?
September 9th or September 10th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at 4:30.
My calendar isn't syncing right now, but let's see. You said at what time in the morning? 10 o'clock?
No, we're
4:30.
4:30 in the
Sorry,
afternoon.
4:30. Sorry, I was getting confused by the days and the times.
Yeah, that's Rick heard the same thing, so I must not have said it clearly. The 9th or 10th at 4:30.
I choose the 10th.
I'm good with that.
I'm good with that.
That works.
You all right?
Okay,
Yes.
so I will make a motion that we table the decision on calling for this RFP until a special meeting of the town board to be held September 10th at 4:30 PM in the main meeting room with Zoom available in person or by Zoom.
Second.
Any further discussion?
No, sir.
Hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Belanca,
Aye.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye. I will just note, I want you guys all, your homework is to start thinking about the numbers. And then we'll put together some stuff for discussion next week and
Great.
get the resolution
Great.
I'll put out.
Okay,
And obviously be over the next day or two, read the RFP.
mhm.
And you were correct. I did just see that it was $18 to $20 a square foot if it was
Yeah.
finished. I didn't find it.
Thank you. All right, I think Rick, you're up next.
Yep. Mr. Supervisor and fellow board members, I have resolution number 15-300, 2025, to call for quotes to farm town-owned land located on Calkins Road.
Seconded.
So are we only doing Calkins or are we doing Calkins and Martin Road?
There's two different resolutions.
Oh, there's two different
Next.
resolutions. Never mind.
Yep.
All right. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Belanca,
Aye.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye,
Councilmember Stafford,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Mr. Supervisor and fellow board members, I have resolution number 15-301, 2025, to call for quotes to farm town-owned land located on Martin Road.
Second. Any discussion? I'll just note, as I said during the workshop, both of these lands, they're park lands, but when they were donated, part of the donation included that they be used as, or that they be farmed. There were two slightly different ones. The one at Tinker was that it essentially be forever farmed if someone's willing to farm it. For the one on Martin Road, it's that it be farmed until such a time as we turn it into active parkland. Right now, this is the southern part of Martin Road Park, which currently is not, was not built into a parkland, or built into a park, I should say. All right, any other questions? Hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Belanca,
Aye.
Councilmember Barley,
aye,
Councilmember Stafford,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye. Fellow board members, I have resolution 15-302, 2025, to authorize the supervisor to sign and submit an amendment to the 2024-25 snow and ice agreement with New York State DOT.
seconded,
So again, this will reimburse us for the almost $227,000 additional we spent for snow and ice removal. I assume that's on highway roads. I don't know if that's just ours or all roads or just state roads, but just state roads. Thanks. Yeah, so the way the reimbursements are normally done is it's a 3-year average and they usually do it a wash, but when there is a significant departure, like there was this past year, the legislature will sometimes approve, or the governor will approve an additional disbursement. So,
that's great.
yeah,
Oh, he's on?
I don't know, but he may be muted. Greg Barber.
Gotcha.
Craig Eckert had just clarified. I was pretty sure it was just state roads, but I didn't want to state that definitively without confirmation. So Craig had confirmed. But all right, any other discussion? Hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Belanca,
Aye.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye,
Councilmember Stafford,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
fellow board members, I have resolution 15-303, 2025, to authorize the purchase of a Ventrac mower and dual wheel kit.
Second.
So these mowers have been very efficient for getting into the wet areas. They basically essentially have 8 wheels. And as you guys probably know, most of our green belts are very wet areas. It's not just coincidence, when developers are picking which areas they're not putting their homes in, it's usually the wetter areas. So, and those get turned over to the town. So It will greatly help us stay on top because people get upset when we don't mow the green belts, but if we get in there with a regular mower, they get upset that we tear it all up. So this is a great way to solve that issue.
Yep.
Any other questions, comments?
You said that we used the parts from the other mower for this also?
Yeah, so what we originally bought, the first one, it was being shared between the golf course and the parks department. As we started using it, we realized there's a lot more places we could use it and it would
Okay.
help us out tremendously. Potentially this will also, so the first one we bought had both a mower, a real type mower for the golf course as well as a flail type mower for the green belts. So what we're gonna do, we're just buying the equipment, we're gonna move the flail mower attachment to this
Okay.
and just operate them separately.
Yeah.
What we may take a look at is depending on, we're gonna examine it this spring, but if we only need the one at the golf course half times, although I was talking with Charlie, if we get the right type of mower on it, it may also work well for the driving range because the driving range area at the golf course is pretty wet.
Okay.
And or we've also talked about, since it's not far away, does it make sense to use it on the other 2 days, for instance, at Breeze Park?
It's parked across the street, yeah.
And so at that point, we'll take a look at that. We'll see how the operations go. And if that makes sense, then we'll buy the second mower head.
Okay.
The other thing we've taken a look at is if by having 2 of them, essentially 1.5 available to the parks, then we could use the one from it might enable us to go in and do the creek bed mowing that we currently farm out
Right.
every year and pay someone to do it. Instead, our crews would be able to do it. Because, oh, by the way, this is the type of equipment they use to mow the creek beds.
Okay, that's great.
They have an incredible amount of heads that you can put on those, like 12 or
Oh,
13
absolutely.
different
Yeah.
stump grinders and everything.
Yeah, so the nice thing is they will, we'll probably talk to the folks as far as, trying because there's a couple different types of heads and we'll
Yeah.
see which ones make the most sense. We'll see if you can rent them.
Okay.
We may, whether we rent them or, we'll certainly try to see if they'll give us a demo for a little
Right.
bit.
Right.
And see how it works before we, commit to a full purchase. Although, like I said, and that's essentially what we did last year is what we said, let's buy one that covers both.
Right.
And based on the amount of use this thing can get, we decided to buy a second. Any other questions, comments? Hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Belanca,
Aye.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Mr. Supervisor and fellow board members, I have resolution 15-304, 2025 to reappoint Ross Johnson to the Board of Assessment Review.
Second.
So I'd like to thank Ross for being willing to step up again for what is a very thankless job. Not just thankless, but often the opposite. So
Hot stuff.
hostile, yes. Any other questions, comments? Hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Belanca,
Aye.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Mr. Supervisor and fellow board members, I have resolution number 15-305, 2025 to authorize the tax certiorari settlement with 1020 Place New York LLC for 1020 John Street.
Seconded.
So our assessor, when she's working with the attorneys and working with these, she tries to avoid any refunds, any going backwards, because that is difficult for the town, the county, and especially the school district to deal with. So once again, she was able to accomplish that. The changes are only going forward. So we thank Amy and her team for their work on this. Any other questions, comments? Hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Belanca.
Aye.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Mr. Supervisor and fellow board members, I have resolution number 15-306, 2025 to authorize the supervisor and assessor to sign an application for review for the maintenance of a system of improved real property tax administration aid.
Second. So when we put our cyclical reassessment plan in place, that entitles us to be able to get some financial assistance essentially after the fact, to reimburse us for some of our costs for doing our townwide reassessment. So again, I thank Amy and her team for putting this together, and hopefully it's a weird system in that they have a pot of money and they divide it amongst all those who qualify. So we don't know how much we'll get.
That's what my next question is gonna be.
We don't know. But it'll depend on how many people qualified for this and did a townwide reassessment this year, so. Any other questions, comments that I
Sure,
can
I'd like
actually
to-
answer?
Yeah, sure. I'd like to thank Amy and her team for going through with the townwide assessment. I guess a lot of angry residents and people didn't want to go through it, and this is a good thing that they'll get paid some stuff back for future labor.
Also note, if you haven't seen it in the newsletter, it does have the statistics from the grievance process for assessments. One of the things that Amy and her team added this year is the informals. So in the past, you had to go to the formal grievance council meeting. In this case, with the 14,000 properties we had to go through, basically she added a informal where basically if you came in, made a good argument before the preliminary roll was due, she could actually change that amount prior to it going on the roll. The way real property tax law works, once it's on that preliminary tax roll, only the Board of Assessment Review or a judge can change it. But prior to it going on that, she can actually adjust it if you make a good case for why it should be adjusted. So there were, if you look at those stats, there were a lot of people who had it adjusted by informals. And then if they were satisfied with that change, did not have to go through the formal process. So
And I was one of those, and I think that informal process was very well organized. They had enough people there. It was concise, and I didn't get what I wanted to get off, but I did get a reduction, so it was fair.
Good. So again, as I've said before, whereas we can't control the way properties are assessed, what we can control is our customer service. And I think this customer service in our assessor department has gotten significantly better, and was, their level of professionalism and courtesy and outreach is just phenomenal. So again, huge tip of the hat to Amy and her entire team, because it is a team effort. They're across the hall from me, so I often hear, people come in very angry and they're able to de-escalate the situation, get to the core of the issue, and where they can, they help out.
Yeah.
So
Second,
it's great. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Belanca,
Aye.
Councilmember Barley,
aye.
Councilmember Stafford,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Hi. Fellow board members, I have resolution 15-307, 2025 to amend the deferred compensation plan for employees of the town of Henrietta.
Second.
I'll second it. I was just thinking about how great this is.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, need access to their monies, and it's fair that they would change this, one and amend it so they can get at the money at 59.5, because 401ks, they're able to do it, 403bs are able to do it. So it's a great thing to change that for, the employees.
Sounds good. You know more about that stuff than I do, so I'm going to
Yes.
defer to your knowledge. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Belanca,
Aye.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Fellow board members, I have resolution 15-308, 2025, to approve insurance coverage for union retirees who retired prior to January 1st, 2021.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Belanca,
Aye.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Mr. Supervisor and fellow board members, I have resolution 15-309, 2025 to acknowledge receipt of the July 2025 revenue and expense reports.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Belanca.
Aye.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Mr. Supervisor and fellow board members, I have resolution 15-310, 2025, to hire personnel and make the attached changes.
Seconded.
Any discussions?
Steve, did I see something on a late email on this that we're gonna have a special meeting or something?
No, that's the next one.
Oh, okay. I just,
Any other questions, comments? Hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Belanca,
Aye.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford,
aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Mr. Supervisor and fellow board members, I have resolution number 15-311, 2025 to authorize the advertisement of bids for the Veterans Memorial Park Band Shell Project.
Second. So, we had a meeting yesterday, with the, Wendy Mahar, who's the engineer for this project, and our engineering team, and went over the design, made the final adjustment. She is going to crank it out so that we'll have the final bid package ready for Tuesday. She has a list of steel manufacturers capable of producing the steel, fabricating the steel structures for this. And so this is to replace the current canvas band shell with a steel band shell. She did some interesting things on the design. Rather than pouring concrete footers and having to wait for them, she's going with essentially it's like an auger system. It drills into the ground and presents a steel cap that you then put a sonotube around, you pour concrete on that, and that's essentially, instead of a foundation that goes, I believe it was something like 20 feet into the ground, to provide really good stability, because one of the things that this has to deal with is, with it being 30 feet in the air, it has to deal with racking and wind. So this was her way of designing it, and so the other thing that, a couple things that this band shell design brings is, for one, it covers the entire 85 foot, it's 50 foot wide, 85 foot deep concrete platform, whereas today we lose a lot of that platform because of the structure itself. This will sit all outside that concrete platform. Two reasons for that. One, that concrete's in really good shape. We didn't want to disturb it. And the second thing is, again, to provide additional space. It will also have a permanent stage with a ramp up to it. So our stage will now be handicap accessible, but in addition, it'll also be easier for roadies to get gear up there because they will either be able to pull it up the ramp or off the back of the stage. There's an area where the door is open. They can actually pull their vehicles back up to that and unload directly onto the stage and through the door. And then it also, then once that's all in, the town crews will build attached to it. Basically the walls surrounding the stage area so as to cut down on wind and sun glare behind and such like that, as well as on the north side, there will be 2 restrooms, and on the south side will be an electrical and utility and storage room. So the funding for this, if you remember when voters passed the referendum for the $200,000 tax increase for the spray park, it was to be used for parks and improvements to our park facilities and recreation facilities. That year it was designated for the spray park. This year it's being designated for the band shell. Basically, the Park and Rec Advisory Board makes a recommendation as to where best to apply that. I believe next year it is going to new restrooms and playground in Kingman Park. And then there's also an additional $150,000 coming from Greenspark Solar as part of incentive zoning for their 8 megawatt, well, it's a 5 and a 3 megawatt project off of Middle Road. And then we also had allocated some fund balance in excess of contingency previously to this to cover the last of the construction costs. So we should be good to go with that. Any questions, comments? Oh, one other thing. So this is the one that has the special meeting, because we couldn't, she highly recommended we have 21 days for them to be able to get to review the responses and submit them for the steel companies. That is industry standard. If you go shorter than that, you will lose a number of potential respondents. Well, if it's 21 days, that puts us past the town board meeting. So we basically scheduled a town board meeting, and we chose Thursday, October 2nd at 4 p.m. because at 4:30, we're going to have our public information session for the LWRP project. And I figured a lot of you would probably already be showing up for that. So just prior to it, we would pass the bid selection. And that way, again, the goal, the project itself, you're probably looking at a week to maybe 2 weeks of construction time. It's the fabrication time up front, ordering the steel, fabricating it. It is going to be galvanized painted, if I remember correctly. And so, you know, we're trying to make it extremely low maintenance. So, but it does have a long lead time. However, they should be able to get, if we pass this in October, it should be in by the end of October or mid-November. So, yeah, like I said, if you ever watch buildings go up, the fastest part is the steel or even wood framing. Framing goes up really quick. And since this is essentially just framings on their part, it'll go up quick, but and it's all, yeah, exactly. So any other questions, comments? And hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Belanca,
Aye.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
There was a question as to whether the meeting next week had to be advertised. It will need to be advertised. We'll do our best to advertise it. I think it can get in the paper that day, based on other discussions, but if nothing else, we'll have it online. And again, it was announced here as well, so. Any other questions, comments on any of that? Then let's go to, since we don't have any public, well, I guess maybe, is there anyone online who wishes to have any additional
That's right.
public discussions? Then do we have any, I forgot we switched the order. Do we have any committee or miscellaneous report?
I don't.
I just have one question. Where are we on the land we donated to the county for Ward Hill for the first county park in Indiana?
Sure. So it's the transfer is not complete. Most of the work is done with that regards. There is currently some stuff on the property that the developer has to clean up and or move. But he has gotten the roads stubbed in, the infrastructure stubbed in so that it's past the houses. There is some excess earth on there that came out of people's basements. We are currently in discussions with the county. The county didn't want it where he had it. My suggestion was that we put in a low berm behind, basically to the south of the houses, so as to provide some screening between the parkland and the houses. And so Chris Martin just put together essentially a what do you call it? Grading plan as to where that berm is going to go, and we just sent it to county parks for their review. So we should probably hear back next week. Once those last few items are cleaned up, then the transfer can be complete. Did you want to add something, Craig? I don't know what you're pointing at.
So I've been involved in a series of meetings with the county attorney and county parks department over the mechanics of the transfer, and it's coming together. I can't let it take enough to incur some of the issues with the contractor and so where the actual transfer takes place.
Okay. Great. Has that development open for work now?
That I believe they sold every lot. I think they have 6 lots that are currently in construction at some phase. Some are further along than others. But so it should be largely done. Most of the dedications are done. There's a few minor punch list items, and a lot of it's also the one thing we always struggle to get from developers is the updated documents recording field changes, things like that, so that because invariably somebody comes along afterwards and says, well, where was that infrastructure? So there were also a couple of issues in terms of there were easements on the plan but not recorded, so they're cleaning that up to get those easements recorded. That's for some of the sewers.
Okay, my last question was really in regards to the stop work order. Has that been lifted or is it still?
Oh yeah, that was lifted fairly quickly.
Okay.
Yeah, he basically had to. He didn't have permission. He was moving more dirt to the county site without the county's essentially permission.
Okay.
And so we put the stop. He's not putting any new earth on the county's portion. And like I said, rather than have him move the stuff today, we're going to check to see if the county agrees with the idea of the berm.
Gotcha.
And that would then just allow him to move it there. If not, we could take a look at, there's a town portion if we to take it there, or we take a look to see. A lot of times it's actually pretty good fill.
Okay.
So there's a chance that, whether we use it some other locations on some projects we're doing or others come and pick it up. But
okay, thank you.
Yep. Any other questions, comments? So again, the newsletter's out.
Got one.
Nice.
It went out,
This week, probably.
yeah,
I've had it for 4 days, maybe.
yeah.
I didn't,
It went to the post office on Friday
okay.
with the holiday weekend,
Yeah.
you know, but
I haven't received it yet, but I did have a question that I thought might be in the newsletter. The fall brush drop off for
It was
residents,
in there.
for residents, is it,
so it is open again. I don't know that I don't know that we included a schedule. I just realized that. I don't know that we had to.
There was a
A
notation in
calendar.
it for that. though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it will certainly be online as we assign dates.
okay, because I've been.
But it is reopened. So basically what had happened is, you know, so the county tub grinder has been down. They started back up. It works for a little bit and then breaks again. And so we have a huge backlog of material that has to be basically ground. It had gotten so large, the DEC came in and told us we had to stop taking in more and rearrange the pile so none of them were more than 30 or 35 foot in depth. That's to prevent the potential of spontaneous combustion. So our crews got up there, rearranged all the piles, got them to be DEC compliant. The DEC essentially lifted their stop work order, and we are now accepting material again. However, we are only accepting from residents. We are not accepting from, we had previously been accepting from commercial, Henrietta-based commercial landscapers. We just don't have the capacity to do that right now. Depending on what happens with the tub grinder, we may never have the capacity to do that again. We'll have to see.
Right.
So, yeah.
I would just been asked question.
Yeah, so it is in there, but like I said, I just realized I don't know that we had established the actual calendar of the dates.
Okay. So, will I get my newsletter tomorrow?
Sounds good. If you don't, I've got them in my office. So, any other questions, comments? And can I get a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second. Third.
Yeah, let's go home and watch Rick's Cowboy team get beat up.
So hearing no objections other than to the Cowboys.